Hello everyone. Today we will discuss some more issues in classification and regression trees. There is one thing that we need to worry about. The importance or criticality of each type of error. Okay. Importance or criticality of each type of error. Now again see, what do I mean by this? So far we were saying that if I have binary classes, misclassification from 0 to 1 and misclassification from 1 to 0 both are equally bad. Okay, but that need not be the case always. Okay, that need not be the case always. My favorite example is, if suppose you are developing a diagnostic test which is very easy to operate. Okay, so suppose you are developing a portable machine which tests the heart of a person, and it's kind of replacement for angiography. Okay, so you have a portable machine which does the big job, and if your machine indicates that the person is going to have blockages, then the person is sent for further treatment to a bigger hospital. Okay, you are in a village, your machine is so lightweight, you bring it on a two-wheeler, you go to a village, bring the machine on a two-wheeler, you test everyone, and if your machine indicates that the person is likely to have blockages, you recommend that person to a bigger hospital. And if your machine indicates that there is no indication of blockages, the person doesn't do anything, he or she doesn't need follow-up. Okay, so you have two categories. Now here, which type of misclassification is more serious? See what will happen. If I classify a person with blockages to a category as person with no blockages, that would mean that the person, even though he or she has blockages, would not visit the doctor. As a result, the person would be deprived of treatment and his or her condition may worsen. Okay, whereas the other type of error is comparatively less serious. If you declare a person with no blockage as a person with blockage, he or she is going to follow up with a bigger doctor who would eventually tell that no, there was a mistaken diagnosis, you don't have to worry, just be happy. Of course, there is a small possibility that the person panics and has a heart attack because of the panic, but let us assume that that's not going to happen. Okay, then so here we have a scenario where one type of error is more serious than other. So in such cases, we have to modify our rules. So we can bring in what is known as loss matrix. Okay, what is a loss matrix? So I will have actual class here and predicted class here. So actual class 0, 1, predicted class 0, 1. So these are anyway no losses, correct predictions. So if actual class of 0 is predicted as 1, and for me suppose that is less serious, so let me put some 1 here as a loss, whereas actual person who is in class 1 to be predicted as class 0 is more serious, so let me put loss as 5 here, so it is 5 times more serious. Okay, the error is 5 times more serious. So this is known as loss matrix. How do I use this loss matrix? This loss matrix can be scaled to get kind of like probabilities, and then I can change my probabilities by this way. Means what? So far what we were doing in the leaf node we used to say, okay, go with the majority. Okay, that was our strategy. But now what we will do, if you have two types of course you are going to have two types of observations in the leaf node. So you will say if probability, so if the, see, going from class 1 to class 0, so predicting something as class 0 is a serious error. So you will say that if probability of class 0 in this particular class is greater than 5 by 6, then only you will term this as class 0. Okay, getting my point? If probability of class 0 is greater than 5 by 6, then only you will term it as class 0, otherwise we will term it as class 1. Let me give an example. So suppose you have data where 20 observations are coming from class 1 and 30 observations are coming from class 0. So in the normal setup, I would have declared this node as a class 0 node because majority is class 0. But here proportion of class 0 observations is 3 by 5. Okay, and 3 by 5 is less than 5 by 6. So we would declare it as class 1. We wouldn't declare it as class 0 even though class 0 is clearly in the majority. Okay, this is one way of handling such unequal error probabilities. Not probabilities, importances. Is there any other way? Yes, there is some other way called as modified Gini index. Okay, you know the usual Gini index, but you don't have to stop there. There is something called as modified Gini index. So what is your formula for Gini index? You compute. So let us say I am focusing on a particular node. So you have pk into 1 minus pk, right? Sum over k. Okay, sum over k, pk into 1 minus pk. So this Gini index formula is for binary data. But if I have multiple category response, okay, multiple category response. So I have suppose L1, L2, LR are categories. Then the general formula, usual, okay, not the modified. Usual formula for Gini index is actually pk prime, where k goes from 1 to r, k prime goes from 1 to r, and k not equal to k prime. Okay, k goes from 1 to r, k prime goes from 1 to r, and k not equal to k prime. Is it okay? So what we will do is we can modify Gini index using loss matrix. So we can define Gini index as the sum remains as it is, but instead of just pk prime, I can have k prime here. So loss of categorizing an observation from kth class as an observation from k prime class. Okay, so we can have modified Gini index as summation k prime pk prime. Okay, prime is here. Okay, now see, the thing is this won't work for binary, because for binary pk prime would remain the same. So it would be some multiple of the original Gini index. So it doesn't work for binary. Hence for binary we have to go to the earlier modifying our decision. So you categorize only if your probability is greater than a certain bigger threshold than half. Okay. Whereas for other things you can use modified Gini index, means for non-binary. A typical example of non-binary where misclassification errors are different can be, say, malnourished person, healthy person, and obese person. So you have 3 levels: malnourished, healthy, and obese. So here also misclassifications are of different severity or seriousness level. Diagonals are anyway fine. See, classifying a malnourished person as healthy is bad because you won't give him or her the required nutrition. So it is bad. But this is even worse. So this is, say, further bad. Classifying healthy as malnourished is okay. It is bad but okay. So maybe 1.5. Classifying healthy as obese is again bad because you won't give him equal amount of food. So maybe 1.2, something like that. Classifying obese as malnourished is terrible because you would keep on feeding the person. So it is maybe bad. Classifying obese as healthy is also bad but not that bad. So maybe 1.8, something like this. So with such a loss matrix I can compute modified Gini index. So suppose I have a class where I have 40 observations of one type, 30 observations of another type, and 10 observations of another type. So this is malnourished, healthy, obese. Okay, so let us compute usual Gini index and modified Gini index. Usual Gini index would be 0.4 into 0.3, okay, plus 0.4 into 0.1 plus 0.3 into 0.4 plus 0.3 into 0.1. So basically you are considering every possible pair, plus 0.1 into 0.4 plus 0.1 into 0.3. Okay, so this is 2 times 0.4 into 0.3 plus 0.4 into 0.1 plus 0.3 into 0.4. Okay, this is usual Gini index. What is a modified Gini index? So modified Gini index, even if you don't do scaling, it's fine, because in scaling you are going to multiply each and every number by the same amount. So modified Gini index would be, now malnourished to healthy, the classification is 2, so the loss is 2, so it would be 2 times 0.4 into 0.3 plus malnourished to obese was 4, much worse, so 4 times 0.4 into 0.1 plus healthy to malnourished is 1.5, so 1.5 times 0.3 into 0.4 plus healthy to obese, so healthy to obese is 1.2 times 0.3 into 0.1 plus 3 times 0.1 into 0.4 plus 1.8 times 0.1 into 0.3. Okay, so this is a modified Gini index. Okay, so try to construct a scenario where your decision based on Gini index and the modified Gini index would be different. Okay, so this is how you handle differences in the severity of the errors for you. Okay, misclassification errors for you. Is it okay? Now how to, okay, now one more question that people ask me is, if my response is non-binary, okay, so response is suppose non-binary but categorical, so you have multiple levels, why do we still go for binary split? Okay, why not bigger splits? Means why not split directly into say 3 ways or 4 ways? Okay, see, the thing is, binary splits can also achieve 3-way or 4-way splits, something like this. Okay, so see here, multiple ways, or even if you take horizontally 1 2 3 4, multiple ways. Okay, so recursive binary can actually give you the required number of levels. Okay, and it has been more accurate than the multiple splits at every point. Okay, this gives required number of splits. This is important. Okay, what are other things? See, trees may fail to capture the linear structure. That is one of the cons of trees. Okay, linear or additive, to be precise, additive structure. So for example, if my ideal criterion is of the form x1 plus x2 less than something and x1 plus x2 greater than or equal to something, okay, suppose this is my ideal category, then trees would fail to catch up on that structure, because every time split is based just on one variable. There is no split based on addition of 2 variables. Okay, some people did try to rectify this situation by doing summation alpha j xj type of business, so kind of taking linear combination, so this less than s, something like that. But the problem is, this increases computational complexity by a very significant margin. Okay, that is one issue. It increases computational complexity a lot. And secondly, the beauty of the tree is in its interpretability, so that elegance would go away, because you can't explain why BMI of something plus age of something plus height something leads to more chances of heart attack. Okay, so you can't, explaining that becomes difficult. So interpretability is an issue, hence people finally started giving up on this. Okay, As we know that trees always go for recursive partitions which are either horizontal or vertical. If your structure is something like this for the two classes, so class 1 here, class 2 here, it's fine. Trees can handle it very well. But if the structure is something like this or something like this, trees cannot handle it that well. Okay. So in such cases, logistic regression or SVM, etc. may be better suited. And one more important con of trees is its instability. Trees are pretty unstable. So if you change, say, even one or two observations, your tree may change significantly. So trees are generally not robust. Okay, so they are very sensitive, not robust. So even if you change one or two observations in your data, you may get entirely different results. Okay, that is another drawback. Okay, so let me stop here. Thank you.